It's trying again.
You're live.
We're alive! Oh my gosh.
Well, there you go.
Good, nobody's here, so we can
So
practice.
it's been
Okay.
on for 8 seconds.
We've been on for 8 seconds.
And look at all the people streaming in.
Yeah. Yes, we're going live. We know that there's nobody here, but we're testing an old camera I had here.
3 people now.
Oh my goodness. I've never done this before.
4.
It's taken us 15 minutes just to try to go live. But I had this camera, so I plugged in the camera, asked me all kinds of questions and made me jump through hoops. And I think we're on. If we're on, somebody say, "Oh, we got a thumbs up." So we're on.
Okay.
So let me start off by saying hi. I'm not sure what to say.
Ashley G.
Okay, answer. Oh, hi. We've never done this, and we just hit 10,000. This is like amazing.
Ashley G and Lorraine Jones. Hello from Chesapeake, Virginia.
This has been crazy. This has been so crazy.
Ladybug De La Rosa.
Please, if I haven't answered your questions, this is no joke. We go on and there's like a thousand questions, and we've been trying to go through one at a time. He's a slow typer, but a fast thinker, and I can type, and I'm trying to go through. I want to thank everybody that did go in and
thank you, Ashley,
and congratulate my granddaughter for graduating her cosmetology class, which was funny because I put that up and I meant to schedule that to go up after her graduation, but I had it actually during her graduation, and she had her cell phone in her pocket, and the thing was just going crazy. So thank you for all, and it doesn't matter if you didn't do it, just thank you anyways. It was so much fun. Okay. Oh my goodness.
Jane Johnson and Deanna Dill.
So they can see us. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask us any questions, because this is a good time to ask because we're here instead of trying to go through these thousands of questions and answer. I love your Oh, I want to try chocolate mint and other mint. Yeah, that's the only one.
Now they're streaming in.
Okay, the chocolate mint is my favorite. You like spearmint, but any of the mint is good. You know, somebody said they made a pitcher of mint and they drank the whole thing. I add it to water. I make a teapot and then I use it all day, and sometimes I add in more water that's already blended the way I make it, so it can last me all day. Let's see, what other questions? My son drilled holes in it and we composted the good. You're going to have to catch up. They're coming in.
We've got Suzanne Elise Ward. Hi from WA. It's the West Coast somewhere. It's either Western Australia or Washington.
That's probably Washington.
What West Coast? Either way, it's West Coast.
Yeah, I love my container gardening, and it just works out so good. And we got 2 acres here, but I'm not going to run all over 2 acres. He's got his stuff in the ground, and you've got a lot in containers now. And I've got them all over. We've got them in the ground and in container.
Okay.
You ever do live tours? Not yet.
Not yet. We're not really set up to do live tours. So
Hi from the UK.
Hi from the UK.
Margaret
Burns, yeah.
No, we haven't done that yet. Maybe we will. This is a surprise. I started YouTube really so your family would know you're alive and well in Australia. And all of a sudden, everybody started coming in to see you with your wood chips and gardening. And oh my gosh.
So in Idaho.
Okay, Zone 5A.
We've got quite a few West Coast people coming in now. We've got a lot of East Coast people like Chesapeake, Virginia, Lorraine Jones.
I'm in shorts. It's going to be hot this week. They say it's going to be 100 degrees all week. So
Lorraine Jones wants to know where you obtained your various mints.
Really from the nursery. I go to the nursery and I look through their herbs, and sometimes I get unusual ones, and they had a pineapple one that I didn't get. So you've got to go to the nursery, and you've got to do it in spring and summer, because once the weather cools down, they don't carry it, because a lot of mints die back. So they don't like to carry it because it looks like it's dead. But if you do go in the winter and they do have mint and it looks really bad, you get a half price sometimes. I've done that too. So I bought a whole bunch of lemon verbena that way because it looks so bad. So it grows better in the spring and the summer. I don't know if you can bring in mint for the winter, but we've got mint growing on our deck, and that grows all year. It won't grow as good, but enough that I can still make
Yeah.
tea.
Yeah, I don't know how cool it gets in Chesapeake, Virginia, because they're near the ocean. It may stay a little warmer, so mint might do okay there. I know they do get snow, not often, I don't believe, but they will get snow in that general area near DC.
But
Houston, Texas. Okay.
oh, my hummingbird videos. Oh my gosh. A lot of the hummingbirds that
Yeah.
disappeared, they started to come back. Remember, I thought a lot of them died, but they probably went into cooler areas. And then when the heat wave ended, they came back. I know I love my hummingbirds. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Begonias. And we don't grow a lot of ornamental flowers. We grow more something that would be edible and ornamental as far as flowers go.
Okay, I think she wants to know about how long the hummingbird feeder in direct sunlight. So you change if it's in direct sunlight. You know, it's tough for me to answer that because here I fill the feeder in my kitchen window and it's literally gone. The few around here in a few hours, but usually a day. It's fine. I haven't really had any problems with it. A day or two would be fine. In when it's not in direct sunlight in the shade, even 3 days. After about 4 days, I keep an eye on it. If you see any mold, then I would take it out and wash it. If you don't have a lot of hummingbirds, I always say just put a small amount in your feeder and keep the rest in the fridge, and that will last 1 to 2 weeks in the refrigerator. I hope if I didn't answer, if we missed some of these questions, I'll go back later on and try to answer them because now they're coming in.
Yeah. It's
Begonias.
a lot easier to answer verbally than it is for me to type. Sometimes it'll take me an hour to do 2 questions. So,
In a 6x6 space.
any ideas for a simple compost pile in a 6x6 space?
Compost pile, as far as I'm not sure what she means.
Well, she's got a space that's 6x6, and if you give her some ideas in composting, usually most of your composting is done in containers. So you could do it in containers.
If she's got a 6x6 bed, I would put a container in the center and compost in the center in a container. And this way, when you water the container, it would leach out in your 6x6 bed, and the whole bed would be getting food constantly. A good tea would be coming out of that. Is that what maybe? I mean, it's an idea. You've done that. I'm doing that too. Because you'll find a lot of stuff will grow around the containers because underneath the container, anytime you have something sitting on the ground or even a little in the ground, there's always microbes and earthworms and stuff underneath. And then when you water it, it leaches out. So you could either you could either dig a hole in the center of the 6x6 and just compost right in there, or put a container. Either way.
Yeah. We haven't seen any rattlesnakes so far this year. We've seen a lot of gopher snakes, racers, and I think I've seen a red-bellied snake, the tiny little ones. But a lot of the snakes haven't really come out, but we're going into a heat wave, so I'm expecting the snakes to be coming fairly soon.
I saw a big racer this morning, a really big one. It looked like a garter snake. It was so big and black with a yellow stripe.
Lancashire.
Yard debris, kitchen waste.
Viviana Leon, Lancashire, England.
Let's see. Okay, so that says Deborah, right? Okay, Deborah's got a small yard. It doesn't matter how small you have. You can still compost, and even if you're not going to use the debris or waste right away, put it in a container and just let it sit. That's what I do. Let's see. I need to frame it about 1x2. Chain link fence on one side and a good neighbor fence on the other. A good neighbor. Does that mean a block wall? I don't know. What does that mean?
That might be from a previous yard debris, kitchen waste. Okay, that's the question just above that. I don't know how. I guess you can scroll up and down to go.
Yeah, I can if you wanted to catch.
Yeah, if you wanted to sort of get a full question.
You tell me which one you're going for.
Deborah, she is asking on composting. Need to frame it in about 1 to 2 feet high. So, yeah.
I need to frame it in about 1 to 2 foot high. I have a chain link fence. on one side and a good neighbor fence on the other. I'm trying to see if there's more. That's it. I'm not sure how to answer that.
And Lorraine Jones, I believe she was from Chesapeake.
Okay, are we further down?
Yeah, yeah. Well, she was further up. Now you've moved it a little.
Peanuts. Peanuts. You got Charlene Richards asking about peanuts. Like I said, I'm going to have to go back through and answer a lot of these questions because they're coming through faster than we thought. I just picked up the peanuts at the nursery, and he just planted some in your hot tub.
Yeah, I planted some peanuts in.
So
my
we're
hot
new
tub.
to this. You're new to
this is the first time we're trying them. We started with actual plants, so we'll see how they go.
Okay, Deborah's laughing at me because I'm trying to figure out exactly what she wants. Okay, you can see through her fence.
Yeah, back to, I think, the Chesapeake question. Yeah, mulching would probably do well with the mint. If you can mulch and keep the ground warmer, and your mint should be good over winter.
Yeah. Our mint lasts all year. It's just that it's not as full. The chocolate seems to die back a little bit more than the spearmint does, but it's not as full in the winter. You're reading questions.
Yeah, Tranquil Geo. Is the mesh cloth still helping your broccoli and other plants? I lost my broccoli from insects.
The birds here have done a terrific job. The only thing I've got is grasshoppers. I call them locusts. He gets mad because you've been through locust swarms, but I see 2 locusts and 2 grasshoppers, and I can't stand them. Those things are that big, and they just leap at you. But boy, that's our big thing is grasshoppers, because I think if the birds don't catch them when they're tiny, then we end up with a couple big ones, and they can just get on the center of my kale or my broccoli and just eat it down. As far as the smaller insects, we've taken care of most of the small insects with our birds.
Yeah, the house wrens and the different small species will take care of the little insects, and the orioles will take care of the bigger insects up to, say, an inch. I've seen them feeding their babies with grubs that have been about an inch long. But the grasshoppers are getting to be 2 to 3 inches. And once they get to that size, we don't have anything that really wants to eat them. So we have to manually catch them and take care of them that way.
And not me, I run. I catch them in a net. I just don't know what to do with them when I do that. I tried stepping on them, but it doesn't seem to kill them.
Charlene Richards, eat the grasshoppers. Yeah, you want to make sure you cook grasshoppers if you're going to eat them.
Yeah, I'm not going to eat grasshoppers. But the tool around the broccoli, if you've insects, and if the insects are not super tiny, even tool will help. You can just go to like Joann's fabric store, any fabric store, and try wrapping your broccoli plant with tool. If you want to eat the broccoli, then you won't have to worry about bees coming to pollinate, because you don't want it to turn into flowers. So you can try tool. Tool works really good here. We don't use any bug spray. And if you see anything, just take a hose and blast it off if it's small insects. Usually that works too.
Yeah.
Grasshoppers. Ugh. Still on grasshoppers. Oh, we've got that tennis racket. I've never tried that tennis racket we've got here on grasshoppers. But he's talking about a real tennis racket, right?
Yeah, real tennis racket.
Thank goodness I see 1 or 2 a day. And I usually shoot the hose at them at night and they take off. And then they probably come back when I leave. But I'll catch them and you take care of them.
Yeah, we've also got reptiles. We've got the little blue-bellied lizards. They take care of a lot of insects as well. Yeah, we've developed a pretty good ecosystem.
I wonder if Kitty would eat grasshoppers. No, I don't know. I don't know what she would do. I know the dogs won't go near the stink bugs that roam around, and you like your stink bugs, those big black ones.
Yeah, they're actually predatory insects, so they'll eat other insects. So they're a good thing to have around.
Yeah, sometimes they get stuck in the container. I see them in there, so I lift them out because they can't seem to climb out. The big black stink bugs.
Yeah, I know their name. I can't think of it offhand. They're called common something.
How did us 2 meet? I think story.
It is a long story.
It's a long
So,
story. We had a common interest
and a mutual friend.
and a mutual friend, and he came visiting from Australia, and that's how we met
Yeah, our mutual friend is a friend of mine
in
that
Australia.
lives in my hometown in Australia, and he was here in the early 80s, I guess,
Yes.
and met you and said, while you're over there, we'll just call her, and I never called you, and I ended up meeting you somewhere, and I guess that started that
Long time
a
ago.
long time ago. Yeah.
Wow. Are you sorry?
No.
I know. You went back to Australia and then you came back.
Yeah, I've only been back twice, and that was in the early
I still
90s.
think you married me because you don't like the cold weather. He went up to Canada. He came here and we ran around and did a lot of tour stuff. And then you left and you went up to Canada and you called me and told me it was snowing. And you asked me to come back.
Yeah, I had a work permit for Canada. So
I don't think he likes the snow. No, I was just kidding. But that was true. He did call me and tell me it's snowing here. It's cold. And it wasn't cold in California. Let's see. What else can I talk about? What other questions have I not answered because they're too long? I don't even know. Oh my goodness. I do see how to end it. I couldn't find a big red button. Now I see it says end stream.
Okay.
So I know how to end it now. We got 40 people. I just want to say, we just came on for fun to see if I can get the camera to work. I hooked it up and it looked like it was working.
okay, for all the things we grow, spaghetti squash, we had so much spaghetti squash that I don't really like spaghetti squash anymore.
No, but it wasn't just that. I like zucchini. My favorite is Crocodile Dundee.
TSX, okay. Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, my favorite, let's see, for the things you grow, what's your favorite meal? I don't know what our favorite. We like it. Sometimes we like simple, which would be tortilla shells with like tacos and stuff.
Yeah, tacos and stuff.
And
kind
stuff.
of, it's almost like a stir fry, just something that we can.
Something fast, especially in the summer. I like to cook a lot in the winter when you can turn on the oven and warm up the kitchen. But now I don't really want to warm up the house. We don't use air conditioning. We have 2 rooms that have window air conditionings for the dogs. As far as me, I love the heat. I love the heat. I was out there painting and I've had people come over and say, it's 106 degrees. I go, I know. But zucchini is my favorite. That's my favorite thing to grow because you can do so much with the zucchini. You're supposed to pick them smaller than this. And yeah, we can get them even bigger, but you can cut it up and just fry it with butter. It's so good that way. When they're this big, you got to take the seeds out. If there's seeds, I don't like seeds. Yeah. I can grate it up and make like my mom used to make, she still does, I guess, a lot of spinach patties. That would be really, really simple. I make zucchini patties, which is just grated up zucchini and some eggs, like you're making pancakes, but you fry it on the stove. You can grate this up and mix it in with ground beef or ground chicken. So you end up eating half the meat and its vegetables. Make zucchini bread. I know there's so many questions coming in. So zucchini is my favorite, and you can freeze it. If I end it with too much, I can slice it up, put it in the freezer, and freeze it and have it all winter. But we grow a lot in the winter too. Yeah. Black beans. I don't grow black beans.
No, we don't grow black beans.
I am growing green beans right now, and I haven't even used them. They keep going brown, and I keep sticking them all over, and they keep growing and growing. I have cucumbers for the first time. Grew them last year, but I couldn't find them. Your ground squirrels or rats got them, and they would leave them places half eaten. But now I know where they are. I haven't had any problems with them.
We do grow black garbanzo beans or black chickpeas. And they're tiny little chickpeas, half the size or third the size of normal chickpeas. But you get 2 peas in a pod. And I can't imagine harvesting them. The ones that
the ones you gave me and told me to plant,
yeah.
And they have this teeny little pod, and each one has 1 seed. Who's going to sit and pull out the 1 seed? So I break it and put it in somewhere else, and it grows more.
They're a good nitrogen fixer.
That's why I keep sticking it around. Papaya,
yep. Houston, I really like the climate in Houston because it's subtropical, and from what I've seen about Houston, things will grow really well in Houston. Papaya should grow well. Um, yeah, it should really do well in Houston.
That's Angie.
Angie.
So what I would do is if you go buy papaya, whether you buy a whole one or half, sometimes you can buy half, take the seeds out, plant them right away. Don't dry them because if you dry them, they won't grow. And just put them in your, if you have a compost bin, put them on the top, you know, and just cover them a little bit with soil or something, or just put them in a tray and they'll grow with a little potting mix. And then you can plant the ones you want out and they grow really easy, but they cannot dry out. How did you first start using tubs, composting in place? I don't know why I started, to be honest. I think I don't know how and why did I first start using it? Because I first started in the ground. When I set up the garden outside, I started in the ground and I couldn't grow anything. It just was, the soil was so, that was before the wood chips.
Yeah.
So I think that was because I didn't have wood chips. I started using containers because I could throw things in there and I found that it was growing really, really good in a container. Any container, it'll grow. So I started, my containers got bigger and bigger and more. They're all over the place now. So how did I first get started? That would be why, because I couldn't grow in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, the soil chemistry is very complex, but our soil without any organic matter in it is lifeless. So once you get some organic matter into it, it's really good because we've got clay soil.
Yeah. And you can get organic, yeah, but you can't grow anything straight. Geez, you have to buy so much potting mix and garden soil to add in.
Yeah, it's a complex thing, and I don't want to start talking about it because I'll sort of lose people, and then I'll have people that know more than me will criticize me, so I'll get it from both ends.
Oh, they criticize me. I say dirt, and they go, "Oh, she's saying dirt." She doesn't have dirt. When I was a kid, I'd go outside in the soil, get dirt all over me, and I had dirt all over. So I don't worry about that. Somebody just saw their first hummingbird moth. Those are cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if I can go back and see who that was. I think Claudia. Claudia saw her first hummingbird moth. Yeah, they're beautiful. They are. We've got them here.
Yeah, there's a few species, and some of them are the adult form of the tomato hornworm, but some of them, like I think in Southern California, there's 3 or 4 species, and they're not all bad, but they are cool to watch because they do look like hummingbirds. They imitate hummingbirds.
As long as they stay outside. I don't want them in the house. When they get in the house, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Gardening. That's it's funny because I gardened when I first moved here in 1988, and it was such a pain because that was that was just in the clay. Then I stopped, and now I just love gardening. People think I'm crazy because I hand water, and to get out in the garden and just water, it's so relaxing. No matter what day you're having, if you're having a miserable day, you just get out in the garden and it just changes. I feel really good. I really enjoy going out in the garden. No cell phone. My daughter will call, "Where have you been? I've been trying to get a hold of you." I've been in the garden. So no cell phone, just me and a hose. I love gardening. And I don't know, I just love gardening.
Yeah, it is relaxing.
It is relaxing. It's fun. Now I think I'll garden forever now that we've got it down pat, and I like doing container gardening because I have so much control over that. And then you can garden around the containers because things want to grow around it because of all the tea coming out of it. Have you ever grown what? Watermelon?
Alibaba watermelon from Iraq.
I haven't even grown regular watermelon yet.
Yeah. The thing with watermelon is the word water, and they need a lot of water, and it's sort of something that we haven't really got into.
Not yet. I had one start to grow last year from seed in my compost bin, but it never did anything. The one I want to grow, if I'm going to invest time, and I don't know which one it is when I was a little kid, there used to be a great big green watermelon, solid green, and you would just cut it open and it was full of black seeds and it was the sweetest thing. And the ones in the store now, they just don't taste the same. not the same.
Yeah, they're grown to be able to ship and look nice
pretty
in the stores
and to look pretty.
and to last. The shelf life, shipping, it all goes into it, and what they've forgotten is the flavor.
It's the same thing with strawberries. A lot of the strawberries you buy, they look so beautiful, and you take a bite out of them, and they don't taste that good. And if you want to do anything with them or make anything, you have to add so much sugar because it's all made to ship, like you said, to ship things.
See, I grew watermelon in Australia, but we had rain over summer. I think I was in the US equivalent of 9B, zone 9B. They need a lot of water, and here you would have to give them water because I think we had approximately roughly 4 inches of rain last year. Our seasonal rain was about a third or a quarter. So if you live in an area where you've got summer rain, watermelon will do a lot better.
Yeah, but it would just be a matter of deciding to do it.
Yeah, deciding to do it.
Jana Harris, another, she's got her papaya seeds are popping up in her compost bins. That's what happened the other day. We dumped a bunch of papaya seeds and we took a shovel and you brought it over to our friend so he can separate them and he can grow it in his yard, since we know they grow really good in that area. And that's how I grew mine. They were coming up my compost bins, and then I moved some of them. Some of them just came up there and I left them. Now I've got them everywhere.
Yeah, right now our papayas are ripening almost faster than we can pick them, and we've got ourselves into a situation that all the seeds go into the compost, which produce more papayas. So you can eat the seeds, and I've eaten them. They sort of have a little peppery flavor to them, and they're not bad. But we end up putting them in the compost. We grow more papayas, and then we don't want to kill them, so we have to find a spot to plant them.
I've got one compost bin No, I have a compost bin, with a whole bunch of them. There must be like 100 of them in there. And now I've got a zucchini growing in a pot in the middle of my yard. And I noticed all around it, I've got more papayas coming up because it was probably in the compost that I dumped in with the zucchini. It is a lazy way. And I always tell people, they ask me, holes on the bottom or holes on the sides?
G'day, Chris J from Queensland.
If you don't get rain, then you put the holes on the side, so there's always a little bit of water. If you get a lot of rain, you put holes on the bottom. That's as simple as it is. You try and see what works for you. I have it both ways. Yeah. And just see which one works. But this way, I know that if I don't water every day, and I don't water every day, I know that there's a couple inches of water on the bottom, and it will kind of wick up through the soil. So that's the way I do it. But yes, it is such a lazy way. And she likes my videos. Thank you. That was Deborah. Oh, I think I have to slide this. I think
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I heard a beep. I don't know what that was. I think we're still live. We're still live.
Talbot, they're the same way as store-bought. Yes, they are. Tomatoes are the same way. Store-bought are just designed to ship well. Barb Talbot.
But we do buy certain vegetables in the store, and then we grow them. Our pepinos. I know that's not tomatoes. It's kind of changing the subject, but I remember going to Ralph's, and I found that weird fruit. I didn't even know what a pepino was, and I called you.
Yeah.
And I said, what is this thing? And you said, buy it. And then now we've got pepinos growing.
Now we've got pepinos growing. They're in the same family as tomatoes and potatoes, but they're more popular in Australia than they are here. They're probably even more popular in Australia.
What, pepinos?
Pepinos.
Which had nothing to do with this question.
My brain is scattered.
It makes me think of other things.
But the thing is, I have an attitude. If you see something unusual, buy it, try it. If you like it, grow it. And if you can save the seeds, if it's ripe enough, you can grow it from the store-bought fruit. Or if you like it, you could find out if it'll grow in your area or what the conditions it needs and try to make those conditions. And, you grow what you want to eat. So you find something in the store, you try it, and you like it, you may as well grow it.
You have nothing to lose, just whatever it costs.
Yeah.
But Yeah, she's absolutely right. The tomatoes in the store taste terrible. But what they actually do is they pick them green and then they gas them too. So they're not even near ripe. Like you can pick them off your own plant. Let's say if you got a rat problem or something, you have to pick them a little early. At least they started to turn and they'll still taste good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I pick some early and throw them in those wired trash can baskets that I buy. I throw a couple in there and they'll ripen outside and they taste just as good as they were on the plant. But when you buy them from the store, there's no taste.
Yeah.
So they are designed, though. That is true. They're absolutely designer tomatoes. So this way they can store better. Oops.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was one question I was going
Which
to
one
say.
were you going to?
Is a garbage can too tall to compost in? I don't think so. You might want to pack something on the bottom, but depends on
It
what
depends on what.
composting.
If they're talking about a full size garbage can, I don't think it. You've got your moringa tree in my yard growing out of a garbage can.
Yeah.
I think you cut the bottom off of that
I
one.
cut the bottom off the garbage can.
I don't think anything is too tall. The only thing would be the problem with let's say you were going to use a full size garbage can. The only thing would be you want to make sure it's closer to the top so you're not falling in the garbage can trying to take care of it. So you would want something on the bottom. So what I would do if you had extra garbage cans to grow in is throw in all the scraps you can find. And I would start on the bottom with shredded newspaper or paper and leaves and all that and fill it up. And then as you get to the top, closer to the top, then use your kitchen scraps along with your leaves and stuff and maybe put a layer of potting mix. And I think it would be great to plant it. Of course, it's going to weigh a ton, so you wouldn't want to move it around. Now, if she wanted to set it up to move it, I know I'm going to get a lot of thumbs down and everything. Fill it halfway up or with peanuts or something, styrofoam. Then it would be light. It could be moved anywhere.
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't have something that weighs a ton. If something light on the bottom. But can you grow in a garbage can? Absolutely, absolutely. I would say yes. Yes, yes. Oh, it's telling us there's more questions. Yeah. Yikes. What is that? French? I don't know.
Carmelo tomatoes.
I don't know.
It's a variety of tomatoes.
Oh, my tomatoes are wild.
No, we grew Anis Noir.
Oh yeah, those. I bought that online, and we grew the Anis Noir. That was really good. That one is red and green and yellow and orange, and you slice it, and it tastes really. You said that was good with low acid.
Yeah, it was a low acid. I like the low acid tomatoes. I don't do well with the high acid tomatoes. And the sweeter ones, the low acid ones, I can eat as many as I want.
But for Charlene, I haven't tried those tomatoes yet.
Yeah.
No, I bought a few different ones this year, but not that. I went for smaller on most of mine because I can still cook with them, eat them, do anything I want with the smaller tomatoes, and they ripen really, really fast. So let's say you do have a rodent problem. They tend to find them if the longer they're on the plant. And so with the small ones, they grow really quick and they ripen and get them off the plant quicker. It's whatever anybody likes, especially if you're in Washington or cooler areas. It takes longer for the bigger ones to ripen. So I don't know anything about those tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes. What do you recommend for the sweetest cherry tomatoes? Recommended for sweet.
The sweet
one. I grow the 100s.
Yeah, sweet 100s or sweet 1000s.
Sweet 100s or sweet 1000s. They have sweet 1 millions. Those are too tiny. Those are just like raisins. They're so like little grapes. They're so tiny. I would say the sweet 100s are really good. And they grow really, really good. And they went all through winter. They're still growing. They're from last year. They're still growing. I like those.
Yeah. Jackie Comer from Queensland. We grow a lot of plants that you can grow at least in southern Queensland and even cans. I mean, they grow black sapote in cans and we're growing black sapote. So even though we're in a different climate, we can grow similar things, subtropical and tropical plants like you can in Queensland. We've got quite a few viewers from Queensland because they keep popping up here and there. So that's cool. Cooked rice go into compost?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Anything can really go in there. The only thing I wouldn't put too much in is too much citrus, and I don't even know why. I think it might break down harder. So if you're eating tons of oranges, I wouldn't put a lot of oranges, but cooked rice, empty your refrigerator. You got stuff in there that you forgot about? Yes, I would put definitely cooked rice. Absolutely. Cooked, raw, it doesn't matter. It'll all break down. What fertilizer do you use for peppers? Oh, I don't buy any fertilizer.
No.
We used to, but we don't need it. What I do is I have the collard and then other leaves, and I put them in a bucket, like yellowing leaves or green and yellow leaves. Put them in a bucket, fill it with water, let it rot for a few days, and that's my fertilizer. Do you use any? You don't use
No,
fertilizer.
My mini bell peppers did really well over winter just with the wood chips on the top. I've had the wood chips on the top for a year or so, and I just keep adding wood chips on the top, and I don't use any fertilizer at all. But if they're going yellow, then your suggestion with the
collard
collard,
or any leaf, kale, it can be any of them really.
Just give them a little bit of a feeding with, like, I would call it liquid fertilizer, but they've got all sorts of fancy names for it now. Compost tea and all that sort of thing.
Well, they tell you can get online on YouTube, and they'll show you how to make compost tea and put the air stone in, and then you got to treat it like it's a tropical fish. But we don't bother with that. I just throw in the leaves, and as soon as it starts to stink, I either use it straight, but I would put it in a watering can, take a couple scoopers out of it, and then water your plants, and it works really good. I'm not allowed to have it around here if we have birthday parties for the grandkids.
Yeah.
Because it smells. It smells really bad.
People have been making compost tea for who knows how long, and they didn't have aquarium bubblers to make sure it was oxygenated enough. If you get too scientific into things, it becomes work.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to bother with that. It works. And I've been doing that now with the papayas because we went through the heat and a lot of the leaves got really damaged. And I took all the leaves that were falling and I put it in a pot. I composted the papaya leaves and I started dumping that in. And my gosh, the top just bursted in the growth. So they love their own leaves just composted in. I hope you can catch up with this.
Yeah, I was just going to respond regarding the rice. Someone responded not a little further up, I guess.
Oh, okay. And somebody's saying the meat will attract. Meat works, but will attract rodents. Dig a hole and put the meat underneath and cover it.
Lois March.
Okay, where are you going?
Right at the very top there. It's there. I wouldn't put. You would want to mix it. You wouldn't just put straight rice in. You would have it mixed with other composted material.
Not use rice or noodles or meat. Let's see what they say. I would not use.
No, well, she would not.
She would not use. You don't want to use it, don't use it.
I mean,
yeah, a lot of people.
I hope I've got it correct, Lois. I'm thinking that's.
I'm so afraid to say names because I'm so bad with names. But it looks like it's Lois March, right?
Yeah,
Yes. Sophia. Oh, no. Lois is answering Sophia.
Yes.
Okay, I see what's going on. There's a whole bunch. It's going really fast, so we're trying to keep up. All I have to say is if there's something you're not comfortable in putting in, don't put in. There's a lot of people who put in stuff that I will never put in. So, but as far as rice, see, now when you throw in your rice or your stuff, I would still throw in leaves from around the garden. And it doesn't even have to be garden leaves. It can be flower leaves. It can be grass clippings as long as nobody's using Roundup. Shredded paper. The paper in California, and I'm pretty sure all over the United States, I've already looked into it, is non-toxic. But not a lot, just a little bit. You just don't want straight goop. So you want to kind of mix it in. So I put in leaves and then if you want, when you sweep your floor, clean up outside, throw in some native soil. Your own native soil too. And this way you've got a good mix and you won't end up with just a pile of goop.
Yeah. So if you add in clay, see, people always rave about rock dust, add rock dust to your compost, but if you've got some native clay, that's going to have the minerals as well.
Yeah.
And it's going to be finer. Rock dust is still, if you think of rock, it's going to be larger particles. Clay is going to be finer particles. So just, sprinkle in a little bit of clay if you've got it. It's really good. And if you don't have clay, maybe even sand, just to sort of
I've even taken, when I vacuum the house from the vacuum cleaner, and I dump that in there too, and it works really good because it sounds disgusting, but dog hair and hair break down as protein, correct?
Yeah.
So, and then ash, people have asked about ash before from the fireplace. Yes, sprinkle that in. But if you don't feel comfortable and you don't want to put meat in or you don't want to put rice in, you put in what you want. If you don't want it, throw it away, throw it in the garbage. But I pretty much put everything in there. Anything, it all breaks down, it all disappears. Somebody has told me, and I don't know if they're on now, they raise chickens and they dump their dead chickens in there and it breaks down, I guess, everything. So whatever you don't feel comfortable, don't use it. That's all I have to say. You can put in what you want to put in. But as far as the rodents, like I said, with the meat, I wouldn't leave the meat on the top. I would dig a hole, put your meat in there and cover it back or cover it with some soil. And if you have to, you can put lids on your compost bins if you're not planting in them yet, and your lids can have holes in them. So make holes in the lid so it can breathe and insects can still go in there and help break it down.
Or some sort of wire mesh to protect it, because we don't have a real issue with any sort of animals getting in, because we don't have a lot of animals left, like possums and raccoons and skunks. We rarely see them now.
The coyotes wiped out a lot of our wildlife out here.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to protect the coyotes, but they forgot about all the other animals that were here. We still have ground squirrels that occasionally. They're not interested in stuff like that. Rats periodically.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? But we don't really have too many problems. I don't have too much getting into the compost bin. I have a rabbit. I have a low compost bin that keeps getting in there. I don't know what he's doing in there, but he goes in there off and on. But let's see. She really likes sun gold.
Yeah, sun gold.
The cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, the cherry tomatoes.
I planted those. Those are good.
They are good.
Somebody asked, what did you want to look through? I know there's tons of questions coming in.
I think we might have missed a couple, but we're doing pretty good.
They almost missed our live cat. We didn't even know if we were going to get on live. Could not get the camera to work, but we did it. I guess we're on now. We're on.
Yeah, we've been trying to figure it out pretty much off and on all week.
Well, I set it up and I can't adjust it. I don't know how to adjust it or anything, but I figured Tim Schmoyer, he encouraged me. I watched Tim Schmoyer on YouTube and he encouraged me. And this is why he said, go live. And I said, well, my biggest fear is, what if I can't shut the camera off? And we're live permanently. But he said there was a big red button. There's no red button, no, but I do see it says to end the stream. So he said, try it. So we figured we'd try it. And we hit 10,000 today. This is like unreal. So we figured we got to try. We got to see. Other questions? Meatworks. Try oh my goodness. Okay, somebody says to bury the meat. Deborah, yeah, I would definitely bury the meat. If you want to put meat in there, we don't have a lot. We don't use a lot of meat. So so
my concern would be coyotes coming in and digging it up if there was meat in our compost. But we don't use a lot of meat. So
no, but if I have, like, I don't even put chicken bones in there. And the reason I don't is I worry if one of my dogs got in there. I don't want them to dig that out. So I stay away from stuff like that. But you can.
Little beans.
Yeah,
that's cool.
She was like the first one that came in, and she's been amazing. You need to check out Little Bean's garden. That is just amazing. She's amazing. She was the first person to come in, and she just like, I don't know. It's like, who is this person? She's like so nice. She was like she was my friend forever. The way she came in.
I think we watched her when she went live. I think it was last year, and she had all sorts of weird people come in. But I think YouTube has got a better filter system now.
Yeah.
Because we haven't got the weird people she got when she went live. She had people asking her weird questions, and I don't know why, but it was
that's your internet trolls.
Trolls, yes.
Yeah, and they still come on. I watch some of the other people do their live shows, and some of them still come on. And the best thing to do at this point would be ignore it. And I don't know what else you could do. You guys look nice and cool.
Yeah, it is hot. It's hot here.
It is hot. It is. Today it's probably only about 85 to 90.
Yeah.
but they're saying this whole week's we're going to be 100. They don't think we'll be getting 117. They never know. They never know. I think the thing is, I don't like the cold weather and I love the heat. So I can just go outside and work right in the heat. And I've always liked the heat, born and raised in Los Angeles, California, and the heat's never bothered me, never had air conditioning. My schools as little kids never had air, so I was used to the heat. I like the heat. Of course, my daughter thinks
Yeah.
I'm crazy. She loves the wet and cold.
Kathy Sasson Santos. We're in Southern California.
Hey, the Los Angeles Times OC has ever done a story on your gardening? On our gardening? No, we just started. Is she talking about our gardening?
Yeah.
No. You looked at me. I had a story, but that was on something else.
Oh.
Years and years ago.
You can have Barb Talbot. You can have moderators to watch for trolls and kick them off.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that's
a good idea.
That's a good idea. Well, maybe we can figure that out ourselves. I don't know. But
well, we figured out this. Now, if I can figure out my taxes, jeez, been working on taxes all day. I don't want to go into that. Oh my goodness.
Camber, where in Oz are you from? I'm from southeastern Australia. I guess that would.
Wait, don't ask me. I don't know where.
I don't know whether to say exactly where
I don't
I'm
think
from.
it matters.
Well, in Australia, you're either from three places. Most people live in the city, and very few people live in the outback, and in between is the bush. And I'm from the bush. I'm from a bush town in southeastern Australia.
Don't tell me, tell them.
Oh, I'm from a bush town in southeastern Australia. That's why someone posted a comment that every sentence is a question, and that's the cadence or the way Australians talk where I'm from. So it's kind of like, my name is Gary. I'm married to Robbie. That might be an exaggeration, but that's just the way we talk from where I come from.
I think Jackie just wants to know where you're from.
Yeah, I know, but I'm answering another question.
Oh.
Because someone asked that question, like it looked like they were being nasty to me. Then I answered to them.
You're talking about now?
Oh, not now. Another time.
Oh, another time on the computer. Okay.
On the computer. So I figured I would.
So you don't want to say where you're from?
Well, I don't know if I name the town. Or just
does it matter?
General, no, I guess.
Oh, I don't.
I don't know.
And that's up to you. You answer what you want. As far as what do I do, Lucky wants to know what I do with the hummingbird feeders in the winter. They're full all winter. They are here. We have hummingbirds all year round, so I feed them all year. Do I grow saffron? Have you ever grown saffron? No.
No.
No, not yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if I will.
I don't know. See, some plants.
Little Bean's already 97 degrees today.
Yeah.
She's hotter than us. Definitely hotter than us, at least by 5 degrees.
Yeah, because
and sometimes more.
I think she's in zone 10B. We're in zone 10A. She was
117. Yeah.
We get the marine influence from the ocean. She's over the hills, and it's kind of going to be hotter out there. They won't get as much of a marine layer. The nighttime won't cool down as much as we will.
It also depends. Every area is different too. I mean, you might have one part of your yard that's cooler than another part of your yard, or hotter.
Yeah.
Because when I thought it was 117 here during the heat wave, my daughter was telling me it was 120, but then she's got a lot of cement around, so it was hotter where she was.
Now, with regard to saffron plants, I don't know if they will grow from the seed that you could buy, say, at the store, because some plants, spices and stuff, you can buy the seeds out of the bulk bins, bring it home, and you might be able to grow it from that.
We did that with some other seeds. We went to Sprouts, and they've got the specialty seeds.
Yeah.
You can buy like just a small amount, a little bag, and I bought some stuff, and we were planting stuff out of it. You got your goji berries from Sprouts.
Yeah.
And you planted that up from them. That's right. And then I bought something else I bought from Sprouts. Get their little tiny bag, and then you can just get a few, and it'll cost you pennies.
Yeah, but as far as where you would buy saffron seeds, I don't know. Or saffron plants.
Yeah, I don't know anything about saffron. Moreno Valley, right now it's 100 degrees. Wow. Wow. Yeah, we're going to be hot this week. Oh my goodness. Are you going to keep up with that, Gary? My garden is dead. Wait a minute. I'm in Waco, Texas.
Waco,
109 right
Texas.
now. My garden is dead. 23 days over 100.
Yeah, that's punishing heat.
For that long, is there a way to cover it at that point? I mean, we've been running hot, but not for that long. And I've been, knock on wood, really lucky. I really didn't lose anything. I thought I lost the kale, but it turned out it lost the top, and I'm going to cut it. It's coming up from the side. But I water every night. And then if it's going to be over 100 degrees, I water in the morning. I do not get the plants wet at all.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody asked about a papaya. I got to
Papaya.
slide back up. Wait, let
Yeah.
me slide back up so you can read that one on the papaya right there.
Okay.
Kathy.
Yeah, we planted our papayas from seed.
We didn't graft anything.
We haven't grafted anything.
I'm not good at grafting. I have to learn how to graft, but it won't be papayas though.
And
will it tolerate frost?
Papayas, if they get hit by a light frost, they'll lose their leaves. And if they get hit by heat, they'll lose their leaves. And what I've seen with papayas is they'll start to regrow and you'll have multiple trunks. So a normal papaya will grow with one trunk. If it gets hit by a frost or by heat, sometimes it'll branch out and have multiple trunks.
I'll be coming out from the sides.
Coming out from the sides. And if your papayas get too tall, you can chop them back and to a nice height, and they'll branch out as trunks too. So just because your papaya, some varieties might get, say, 15 to 20 foot tall, you're not going to you won't be able to reach the fruit anymore. But if you chop them down, they'll tend to branch out.
And they'll still grow on the side. The new shoots will grow papayas?
Yeah, like Dave's dad, across from Deborah's, his has branched out from the sides. I think his got hit by a frost.
Oh, they had the whole length.
They had
in
the
their
whole
yard,
whole length of
out
the
in
yard.
the street. Papayas. Okay, I knew something happened because they got a frost. It was
a
like
frost.
out in the open. Okay, and then they started growing shoots off to the side.
Yeah, they can handle light frost. If you live in an area where you get a lot of frost, and you can keep them in a pot, you can bring them indoors or put them somewhere where they won't, where it's more frost free.
But as far as grafting, we didn't need a graft. They grew fruit.
No.
About a year. Did they take about a year? Almost a year.
Took a year. So it takes a year or two for them to start producing, and once they're there, they just keep producing.
Yes, but they're heavy feeders. Remember, because in the beginning we started growing them, and they got as tall as Deborah's neighbor, Dave's dad. And I went to him, and he spoke Spanish, and I spoke English. So he told me, he was telling me in Spanish the flowers, and when he was telling me it was the leaves, and we figured out we've got to compost heavily. So I put those bins around them and started composting all the leaves and stuff in there, and then it just, all of them busted into fruit.
Yeah. I want to correct what I said. Barb Talbot's right. Saffron are the stamens from the flowers. It won't, I don't believe it'll have any seed in it, so you won't be able to find this seed. I'm thinking of safflower seed, which is a white seed that
safflower. You were thinking safflower.
Yeah,
you were thinking bird food.
I'm thinking of safflower, not saffron. Saffron.
Yeah, I don't know anything about saffron at all. But yeah, the main thing with papayas is heavy food, because the guy that brings your wood chips, the guy that you became friendly with, he has massive trees, and he said no fruit, but they're not feeding him. So he said he was going to set up the compost bins right away. You had that with the papayas out front, no fruit. Yeah. And then you set up the tubs with the composting in there, just kitchen scraps, leaves, anything, and then they all went to fruit.
Yeah, that's what got them going out.
Yeah, they are heavy feeders. And now I'm taking their leaves and I'm putting them in those plastic florist tubs I get, and I'm soaking them in there, and I'm just dumping it because I don't want mosquito larvae in there. So as soon as it starts to break down or look like tea, I just dump it into the compost, dump it into the papayas, And boy, they're doing really good with their own leaves too. We got quiet because we're reading.
Yeah.
Thanks for the info about the papayas. Let's see, so would you have to grow a certain kind of, okay, what is this?
Crocus
That's a
for
flower.
saffron.
You're really asking the wrong person on saffron.
Yeah,
I think you're going to have to go on YouTube and look and see, because we haven't tried that at all. How would you grow that? I don't know anything about saffron. I've
yeah,
never even thought about it.
I don't know. I know they grow a lot of it in France, and they have large fields of it, and it's very labor intensive.
Somebody's actually starting to answer on the saffron. Thank goodness. Yes. Really getting in the saffron. Okay,
Yeah,
now you're going to spark an interest, and I'm going to have to start looking and growing in the saffron, because everybody's interested in saffron.
yeah, I know. We kind of got a little bit out
But that's
of
what
our
happens,
league.
you know. Somebody brings something up, and you never even thought about growing something, and all of a sudden it's like, well, now I'm just going to do it because, well, I've done stuff because somebody said you can't. And that's it. You tell me I can't. I'm going to figure out how to do it. Are papayas male or females? That's a good question. I see that come up, and yet all our papayas are growing fruit.
Yeah, a lot of ours are both male and female, but some varieties of papaya have male plants and female plants. I'm thinking because the varieties that we've bought from, we started from grocery store papayas, and I imagine the commercial growers would be growing plants that have both male and female because they don't want to waste their energy growing males. Because if you have papayas that are male and papayas that are female, you won't be able to tell the difference until they flower. So if you have them growing for a year before they flower, you're putting into a lot of effort into growing a plant that's not going to produce for you. But the way they do it commercially is they'll put in 2 or 3 plants together, and then they'll cut the males out. That's how they used to.
Okay, I don't know anything about that.
So that's how they used to do it in Australia. I don't know what it's like now, because a lot of the fruit has changed. I know, but pineapples, for example, aren't as spiky as they were when I was a kid. So you buy a store-bought pineapple and you don't get stuck with it.
Oh, that's true.
So I think most papayas now would be both.
Ours is both, obviously, because we're growing fruit and they're full of seeds. But it does make sense. The saffron is very expensive. I've never cooked with saffron. Maybe if I was cooking with it and using it, then I would have a bigger interest in that.
Shelley Hope.
I love you.
From Colorado, and our little Yorkie
love you
Jasper.
Too.
Where is Kitty? Kitty's over there. Kitty.
She says, leave me. Come here. Oh, you just woke up. You look like you're having a bad hair day. Oh, come here, sweetie. What's going on? She says, I don't know who you're talking to. I think that was funny. I did one video where Maggie was in the house and she's looking around, and I had the camera set up in the kitchen, and she's like, who was she talking to? You weren't here. So, what do you have to say? Oh, you just woke up. She says it's warm. You shut my fan off because you turned the camera on. Yes. I'll leave that one to you.
Solar minimum. That is, let's see, solar minimum. I'm trying to think. Is that?
I don't know what
the winter solstice. Is that solar minimum? Solar minimum.
Okay.
No, solar minimum. That might be the sunspots. The number of sunspots that occur. I'm trying to think what that is. I should know it, and I'm pretty sure.
I don't need to know it.
I'm pretty sure it's either solar minimum is either the number of sunspots. I think we might be at a low point right now with the solar minimum.
Is there
a story behind Kitty's?
You named her. I would have called her Toto. Toto from the Oz. You named her Kitty because when she was tiny, She would climb on the couch and sit on your shoulder, and you said cats sit like that.
Yeah. Plus,
Plus, she's got a
she's
tail.
got a tail.
Why does she have a tail? Because technically, you kept telling me she was going to die. We had her, she was born here from one of our Yorkies, and we didn't take her to the vet. They do the tails, and you said, no, you're not having her tail done because she's going to die. She was only, I don't know if you can see it there. She was only about that big. She weighed about 2 ounces. She couldn't nurse. She couldn't bottle feed. I tried the smallest bottle, so I had to eye drop feed her for like 4 weeks, and she just couldn't nurse. And she lived, didn't you? And you're the meanest dog on the property.
Yeah,
She will beat up everybody. But no, she did live. And I don't know why she wouldn't nurse on a bottle and what her issue was. But you kept saying she's going to die.
well,
So
in
that was now September. She'll be 3 years old. So
and she's
still alive.
She's actually in pretty good health.
She's in really good health.
The issue I thought was she wasn't feeding, and that was the main thing. I don't know why she couldn't nurse, but she didn't have a cleft palate or anything. I looked in, I couldn't see anything going on in there. And I thought, you know,
unless she had a pinhole. If they have a pinhole, they can't suck. But she didn't even try. So I just fed her like you would a bird, just basically an eyedropper, and it worked, didn't it? Didn't it? Until she started to eat on her own. But as far as her name, he named her. I don't know. You just started calling her Kitty, so you became Kitty, right? She doesn't know. Yes, you don't know.
Charlene Richards, do we have any cats?
No.
No, we used to have cats, but we don't have cats anymore.
Here, if you have cats, you have to make sure they're in the house. And cats have a habit of getting out and jumping over chain link or fences. And we have now a coyote problem that we did not have. I don't want to get into this. That becomes like politics. But for the past, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years, the coyotes have gotten so bad that they'll come and charge me when I'm in my garden. And it's not funny. We've had them even basically come to the house. It's disgusting. But yet, when I moved here in 1988, my kids could camp outside, do what they want. The coyote would come over, sniff at the dogs, and then leave. And now, instead of a dog being another dog, coyotes now look at dogs as food.
And we used to have geese that we could have in our yard, and we can't do that sort of thing
Well, we
anymore.
had geese and chickens and guineas and all that running loose in the yard, and now we can't do it. Our neighbor lost almost all their chickens and ducks from the same problem, and her dog twice. The first time her dog got taken, she got it back, went to the vet, spent about $800. And then as soon as it was healed, the coyote came into her yard while she was working with her horses and stuff and took her dog. And that was the end of it. So coyotes are a bad subject around here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. JM25. I know you like your mint tea, but have you grown green tea?
My friend Craig just bought on QVC 3 teas, and he keeps telling me he's going to give it to us, but he's growing it, and we didn't take it. You were there the other day, and I think you forgot to bring it home. So we have not grown it yet. So my friend's got my green tea that he's growing, and so I plan on growing it soon. Because it's growing, it's at his house. And he said when they came, they were really tiny, but he said they bushed up really, really good. I have yet to see them.
Yeah, when I looked at them, they're just starting to flower. And
they were flowering in his house?
Flowering, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, they were just budding, and I pointed it out to him. He said, oh, you didn't notice that. And he looked at it, and apparently they've got a tiny little camellia-like flower, but it's very tiny. So,
wow.
But
I'll have to go pick that up, maybe during the week.
Pick that up.
I don't want, he bought you one and me one and him one, but I think I just want to start with one, make sure it likes it here. I don't want to end up accidentally killing two. And I'll start with one, and then if it's good, I'll take the second one and go from there. Yeah. But I do want to grow my own tea, but I still like mint.
Yeah, we've got 2 coffee bushes, and one of the coffee bushes flowered a year ago, and now it's got, I hand pollinated it, and now it's got 2 coffee cherries on it.
Okay, these people are going to make me grow saffron now. Look at this.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to be
There's an
determined
article-
to grow saffron just because so many questions have come up. Maybe mainly the same people, but it's enough to kind of spark an interest just
Okay.
because.
Yeah, since it's a crocus, see, I don't know.
That's a flower.
It's a flower.
Craig would be good on that.
Yeah,
he can grow any flower. Our friend lives out here and he loves his flowers. Oh, he would make him grow it, and we can bring it home.
Mate, get him interested in growing it. Set him up with some, because he's really good with ornamental plants. He grows some food plants, but it's kind of like what am I thinking of? Not asparagus, the thistle.
Thistle?
The thistle, the
Sow
artichoke.
thistle?
He grows artichokes just for the flowers.
Oh, he's the only person I know of that eats as bad as he does, and he's yet healthy. And the only thing that keeps him healthy is he walks to work and back for 3 to 4 miles a day. Yeah. Oh no, 6 miles probably back and forth. That's the only thing that keeps him going. He doesn't eat greens. He doesn't eat any vegetables. He lives on sugar. But it's just walking. It's the walking. I guess he eats a little bit good, but maybe if we can get him to grow. Well, he'll grow the vegetables, but he won't eat them. He grows tomatoes and he won't eat them.
Yeah.
But then my daughter lives next door, so she'll take him. So anything you grow there, she takes. She eats his pomegranates, the oranges. She picked his tomatoes, his peppers, something else he grew.
Okay. Saffron grows in zone 6 to 8 in the south and 6 to 9 on the west coast.
So we're in 10.
So
Well, we could probably still.
If we could find the right microclimate for it, we might be able to grow it. But there's certain things we can't grow well here. Jerusalem artichoke or sunchokes, I've grown them, but they never taste as good as if you grow them in a place that has a frost. They don't have that nutty flavor to them. So that you can grow them, but they taste pretty bland.
Oh.
So certain things don't do that well here, and we just have to figure out what we can grow. Yeah, we can grow papayas, and that's great, but there's other things that we have trouble with, like lettuce and different things.
Lettuce we have trouble with because it gets so warm that it wants to bolt right away. My hummingbird feeders are almost empty. That's why they're screaming out there. It bolts right away. But if I grow it in the shade, a cooler area, then it grows okay. I've got some growing around the house in cooler areas. The chocolate mint. Is that Jane? Yes, Jane Doe.
Jane Doe.
The chocolate mint is the best tasting one. Definitely buy it now, though. And you only need one plant because you can propagate that. It will just take off. Don't buy the strawberry.
Yeah.
I don't like strawberry.
Beatrice in Florida, she liked the best mint is the mint ice cubes, and that is good.
Oh, yeah.
If you produce a lot of mint, it would be a good idea to freeze it so you have it over winter.
As ice cubes.
Yeah. Did you say that in any of your videos?
I don't remember. I might have. I don't know if I did or didn't. But if you were going to freeze the mint as ice cubes, I would freeze the ice cubes and then put them in a Ziploc bag so they wouldn't get freezer burned. That's what I would do. But definitely you'll have to get the mint now because they don't have it. It depends on what part of the U.S. you're in or wherever you are. As soon as the weather cools down, they don't tend to carry it. So you want to get the plant the sooner the better. Okay. On that in the summer or spring.
Speaking of bolting, how do you prune basil to keep it going? Just you have to really be vigorous on taking the flowers off, and we're not.
You eat the flowers.
I eat the flowers. I go through and I eat the flowers, but if I miss a week of eating them, so I can eat stuff that most people wouldn't eat. But the flowers, to me, I don't mind eating the basil flowers. So if I remember, I go through and pick the flowers off. If you don't pick the flowers off and it goes to seed, the plant will say it's done, and it'll start dying back. Okay, Sherry Lou, Baker Creek has saffron crocus.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. They're a reliable source. 25 bulbs for 20. Okay, so they're not that expensive.
No, they're not that bad.
So,
oh, that's good to know. And somebody can tell me how it goes. I don't know if I'd want to really grow that or not. It might be worth trying. I grow stuff I don't use. Oh my goodness. There's a whole lot. There's more. Yeah, there's more. That's good. That's good. Let's see. It's anything else you want to answer that we might have missed? I'm sure we missed a lot.
We probably did miss a lot.
You're the most unloyal dog. My granddaughter comes over. She loves my granddaughter. She doesn't want me. Now my daughter comes over to get my granddaughter. It's like, oh, I like her better. I'll go home with her. Unloyal. She's the nastiest dog. You like to beat everybody up. I know. Says it's warm. I know it is warm. You should be in the air conditioning. Let's see. I guess that's it. I can't think of anything else. Well, this was we've been on for over an hour. You said we're going to try this for 5 minutes. Oh, don't look at my legs. It's so warm. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. What else do you have to say?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, we've been on for over an hour. And 50 people watching.
Wow.
That's
good. Thank you. This has been fun. This has been a surprising day to hit 10,000.
Yeah, 40 thumbs up, 50 people watching. Wow. I think that's pretty good. I mean, we just spur of the moment decided to do it. We were planning on doing it, but we just sort of decided to, this would be a good time to do it.
We weren't sure when. We'll have to do a video one day just to talk about the wood chips, because that's a story in itself on your wood chips. Well, thank you, Deborah. This has been fun going live. I think, should we say goodbye?
Yeah, I think so.
Do we have things to do? Well, this has been really a lot of fun, and we'll try to do it again. I really do. I know I brought this up in some place. I really want to start Wonderful Wednesday. I know everybody's got on, online Throwback Thursday, but wouldn't it be nice to have a day that somebody says something nice about somebody? I think you don't care.
Yeah.
I do. I think it would be good. There's just been so much bullying and stuff going on. What if somebody just said something nice about somebody? What do you think? Can you be nice? You can't be nice. But I think someday, maybe we should go on a Wednesday. What's smoke weed?
Smoke weed.
Weed.
That's the first odd comment.
Oh, is that an odd comment?
Yeah.
Sorry, I've never smoked any weed. I've never done drugs in my life, so I wouldn't know. I'm so naive on all that stuff.
Yeah.
My granddaughter once asked me, how come you never did drugs? I don't like anything that impairs my thoughts. That's why I don't like to drink. I got drunk when I was 16, 17 years old, and I didn't like it. I don't like anything that impairs my thoughts. I want to have full control. If I'm going to act stupid, I want to do it on my own. I don't need anything else to help me act stupid, do I? I can do that really good on my own. Anyways, now we're getting on a different topic. So, she wants Wonderful Wednesday. Yes, I think people should do that. Really, on Facebook, Instagram, just pick somebody and just say something nice about him. Don't even tell them you're going to say anything nice about him. Wouldn't that be a surprise? Just something nice. You like their hair. You like their eyes. You like the way they draw. You like the way they don't mix in on people's lives. You like the way they cook. You just like them just because you like their smile. Just something nice.
There's a lot of negativity out there. You can find it very easily, and just something positive,
Just something. Wonderful Wednesday. Just say something nice about somebody. Can I say anything nice about you? No, you are funny. Okay, well, maybe we'll come back Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe. We'll see.
We sorted a few of the bugs out of the system.
Well, I think I got the camera to go on. That was the main thing. Kept telling me, push this button, push that button. And finally got it to go on. So we can try it again now. So I'm going to say, everybody wants Wonderful Wednesday. Yes, Wonderful Wednesday. Okay, well, I'm going to say goodbye for now. And if I don't know how to hang up or shut this off, you may be in our house forever. So thank you all for watching. Thank you. This is amazing.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome.
This is the same. And you said, I don't want to go live. You said, I don't know what I'm going to end up saying.
Yeah, because I fumble with my words and I wasn't sure whether I was going to hit a wall or not. But
No, I think you did better than me. Look at that. Well, have a great Sunday and a good week. And I guess that's it. We'll see you soon.
yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank
And
you for watching. You want to do your spiel?
no, yeah, I've got a little spiel, I guess. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. It's like a rehearsed line, I suppose.
I don't know.
I've said it enough times that it just flows.
I love when I videotape you and then you're kind of like real slow on everything you're saying and you're really thinking about it, and then you come to the end and you've got this boom, you've got this thing that you practice, and
Yeah.
I forget to say what zone I'm in. I forget to say like and subscribe. I forget to say a lot of stuff, and I think, and this is funny, I think the hardest thing for me to do is go over my videos and have to look at them to see what I've done. I can't stand watching myself. I have you do it.
Yeah.
A lot of times. I can do it here and there, but I'm like a one take person. If it doesn't come out right, you're going to get it the way it came out. I don't care. He likes to do it, make sure it's perfect with me. I don't care. That's just the way it is. So thank you, everybody. Bye, everybody. And if I don't shut you off, you've just joined our household. Bye-bye. Thanks again for watching. Thank you, everybody. This has been wonderful. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks.